All right, welcome back everyone to another day in the Pixelborn Arena here at the Lorcana Academy, and we got a preview card. We got a preview card by the name of 𝚉𝙴𝙼𝙺𝙺𝙺 No Nonsense Instructor. So if you haven't seen it, I think it's a pretty powerful card. It's a 2/3 for 4 that quests for 2, and buffs your hero characters and they get Challenger. But more importantly, whenever you play a hero character, you gain 1 lore. So with the right circumstances, you can just gain 7 or 8 lore in a turn with a deck like the one that I tried to build today and show off. So it seemed to me that this was a really good fit in the existing Amber Steel Songs archetype. And I took a existing winning deck list from a tournament from the previous set and screwed around with it basically until I found something that was doing well in my testing. And here's what I ended up with. So we have the same old guard. We have, Stitch 6 is really good. Rapunzel 4 is obviously really good. Ariel is a Singer 5, and that's really important because the whole deck is built around basically 2 songs. Really just 1, but basically 2. Whole New World. This is the straw that stirs the drink. You can either pay 5 or have Ariel or any other 5 ink card sing it, and you throw away your hand and draw 7, and so does the opponent. And the point is that if you can get down, if your hand is really cheap and you can get down to 1 or 2 cards left, you're going to draw 5, and they're going to draw 1 or 2. And what that does is it will refill your hand with a bunch of cheap characters, right? If your character's full of cheap cards and you got down to a low hand count, you're probably going to have a bunch of cheap cards after Whole New World resolves too. And there's a bunch of 1-cost creatures that are all heroes that when they come into play will gain you a lore when you play them with 𝚉𝙺𝙺𝙺𝙺. And they were already good together before the set rotated or before we got a new set. Lilo and Simba, for the longest time, has been one of the best things that you could be doing in Lorcana, right? Just play a turn 1 creature or character that quests for 2 and protect it on turn 2 with Bodyguard. Especially if you're on the play, then that's fantastic. Both of them are heroes. Both of them will gain you lore when they come into play. You also have access to Robin Hood, which was just really good by itself, right? It quests for 2 on its own. It can come out of nowhere by shifting onto a Robin Hood that you already have in play. And by the way, there's 4 of those, and they cost 1, and they're heroes, so they gain you lore too. And they also gain you cards that you need in order to dig to your songs if you can't find them. Speaking of digging, we do have 2 copies of Be Our Guest. I found that I was really fizzling out. The deck I took had a bunch of top end, really clunky top end. So they had Stitch 7, Cinderella 7, and I found that my hand was getting filled with those an awful lot. So I cut them and put in Be Our Guest because I found that the games where I was able to resolve 1 Whole New World, I never lost. Like that was what it took to. That was all it took to win the game. It might have gone on for another few minutes, but it was over at the time I resolved Whole New World. And yeah, so one more thing you can do. Obviously, this is not part of having Phil in the deck or anything, but you can shift Robin Hood onto an existing Robin Hood, fight something, and then play Rapunzel and take the damage off of him and draw cards for that. So you gain a bunch of lore for the attack with Robin Hood. If he dies, if your opponent kills him, you get to draw a card, so that's already probably a 2 for 1. And if you get to take damage off of him with Rapunzel, then the sky's the limit. And that's basically the deck. 2 lanterns. I kind of like in decks that are built around 4-cost cards to have lanterns, and I think it fits really well in this deck. So imagine you're playing a game, you play lantern on turn 2. You can immediately exert it and play a 1 power or a 1-cost creature right away, and the deck's full of them, as I said. And also the next turn, you'll be able to play up to 4 ink worth of characters instead of 3 ink worth of characters. So it basically lets you get your fill into play a whole turn sooner than you would have otherwise been able to. So I'm not sure it actually belongs in the deck, but it was in most of the Amber Steel lists from the previous standard, the previous set, and it also makes it more likely that I'm going to be able to show you the power of fill. If you like what you see about the power of fill, then you can head on over to our sponsor, Coolstuffinc.com, and you can get all of these new cards and see if you can build a deck yourself that you like, and see if you can take the meta by storm. Use the code use the code Academy for 5% off your order at checkout. It lets them know that we sent you, and it helps us to make more of this content, which we do like making when we have the time. All right, that's enough from me. Let's get into some games and see how the deck does. Okay. Steel Ruby. Cool thing about the new set is that I just don't know what anyone's running. This hand is pretty bad in a way, but we do have our most relevant songs. But I do think that we probably have to pitch almost everything else if we're going to keep this. I think I'm actually just going to go down to Whole New World and Cinderella. Try to find a more aggressive start. We are on the play after all. Oh boy. I mean, I guess. Alright, well, we're definitely starting with Cinderella here. The only question is which of these do we ink? And I think it's Stitch, because I think this Cinderella might be important to dig us out of this kind of clunky opening hand that we have. Mulan. Okay. Maybe some sort of combo deck, or just like a mid-rangey challenge aggro deck. So if we tap, or if we exert Cinderella here, she's sure to die. Throwing away Be Our Guest hurts. Yeah, I think I have to throw one of these Be Our Guests away. We'll play Cinderella, and if we can find a 3-ink song, we can use it to kill Captain Hook. Instead, it's Lilo, and we have to throw one of these away. I think it's one of these removal spells. And we can't allow ourselves to lose Cinderella here. This one's fine. We can lose this one, but this one I think is too important to our game plan. Queen of Hearts is on the board. Just questing with Captain Hook, huh? That's really interesting. I want to play Phil. I really do, but I think it's really hard to justify keeping him around, especially when we're going to wheel our hand soon. I think I do definitely want this off the board, unless there is some 3-ink payoff for being able to challenge my Cinderella. Well, I guess in terms of sequencing, I should just do this first. All right, we can take another Phil if we want. I think I will. And I'll challenge Captain Hook here, play out Lilo, and keep this Cinderella nice and safe. If they trade with this Cinderella here, then I've traded one card for 2 of theirs. So if they have some payoff, it's still probably an even trade for me. Okay, so this is just for 1 lore here. I think we should definitely be fine with this. Okay. Well, I mean, there's no choice here, right? This is just turn another Phil into ink, which kind of stinks. We have to spend all 4 ink, I think, to kill this 𝚱𝙴𝙲𝙺𝙺. But, well, I'm definitely going to quest with Lilo. If they have some rush character that comes down and eats Cinderella, am I really sad? I might be, right? Is it worth 1 lore? I don't think it is. Because if we get ink, wheel our hand next turn, then this Cinderella will be able to sing a removal spell. And yeah, I mean, that's just it, right? Like, this will have more value after a Whole New World than 1 lore does right now. Yep. So there's a rush character after all. Okay, so we did find Robin Hood. We can turn him into ink, wheel our hands, and then hope to find kill spell. We can also grab your sword, but that feels really, really bad. I guess I could grab your sword and kill, but I think we just do this. They had a Maui. So a lot of rush stuff over there. I think I am going to do this. And this way, like, if they attack here, it's a trade. And I have, I have a new singer, right? So friendship with Cinderella ended. Now Ariel's my new best friend. Okay. So they can move Goofy there. He'll challenge Cinderella, take no damage. That's pretty good. Next turn we start getting online, though. We can play Phil, double 1-drop. That's a pretty good 1-drop because that enables this Robin Hood to come down as a surprise on another turn. So I think we throw away this Rapunzel. Could also play this Ariel. We could play Ariel in all 3 of our 1-drops. If they have Grab Your Sword, then that's incredibly painful, though. Let's just do this. Yeah, I think we play out this Robin Hood as like a way to cheat in this surprise one, even though normally I'd rather play Lilo there. Shifting Queen of Hearts. Thebes. Okay, I mean, they're just all in on this challenge theme, so we have to be very, very careful with what we expose to them. It's probably not worth trying to kill these locations. I think we probably just try to win the game. They are gaining a lot of lore, though. Does this include the... Oh, these just don't generate any lore on their own. Okay, that's fine. Now, we can shift Robin Hood onto Robin Hood, challenge whichever one of these we like. Probably Goofy. That'll cost 3. We'll go down to 3 ink. We'll put damage on Robin Hood. We'll be able to turn this Ariel into ink, play Rapunzel, take the damage off of Robin Hood. I think that's where we're at. Gotta say, this feels pretty good. It's entirely possible that this card is just utterly broken. All right, pass the turn. You have to imagine that they have their own Robin Hood. That also makes sense. Maybe I need like more targeted location hate, because we're not really good at putting damage onto these things. That's pretty good, though. Losing Cinderella does sting a little bit. It would have been nice to be able to play this for free. Okay. I think we just need as much of their stuff to die as possible. So what does that mean? I think that means that maybe Phil challenges... no, because this has resist. It doesn't really make that very clear, but this does have resist 1 right now. I think we... what's the sequencing here? I think we start here because we'll end up drawing a card, and I'll have Rapunzel sing it, kill Maui. We drew a Lilo, which I think makes me more willing to get rid of this Stitch. Yeah, I think so. So we have 6 ink left. We can just play both of these and have Whole New World lined up next turn, which I think I am into. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I guess this would have been better sequencing. We could have played that first and see what we hit, but that's fine. I guess I should have played this, actually. Maybe not. I would have had to tap Phil to do it, and I think he's really important to us right now. They might have another Maui to come down and kill Rapunzel. That's bad, but better than them shifting it onto something. I mean, they're just dead on board if they don't kill something. Yeah, and they see it, and we get there. Okay, so yeah, I think Phil was, he came out pretty late, but you did see the power of just playing him and then 3 1-drop heroes that all quest for 2, right? It looked pretty bad for us for a little bit there. Okay, on to the next one. Okay, Emerald Amber is here. I would think that this is probably a good matchup for us, if it's what I think it is, just like an aggro deck that we go underneath of. That said, we do have a handful of 6 and 5 drops, so I think Keeping these two is nice. Again, I think I would normally put back Phil, but I don't think I want to for this video. I think we'll keep these 3. Well, I think that makes the decision for us. We're going to play out the 1-drop that we can't turn into ink. Really cool that Lila's a hero. Okay. Well, we did get rewarded by drawing another Robin Hood. It does suck a little bit that we have to turn one of these into ink. It realistically cannot be Ariel. I'm going to play Ariel on 3, and then the next turn I'm going to want a whole new world. Maybe I am actually supposed to ink this one. Sorry, Phil. We'll get you next time. Okay. Well, luckily our hand's kind of juiced. I think that's the right card for them to take, but I can see... I could have seen an argument for taking the others. Now, I want to turn another Phil into ink. The video will suck if I do that. Yeah, alright. Sorry, guys. Like, I think you would rather see me play, like, decent, tight Lorcana than try to force getting Phil to work in a deck that he might not belong in. Okay, so do I want the kill spell? Huh. Against the discard deck, maybe I want this? But they haven't shown me a character yet. Even still, yeah, I think this is the one I want. And here we go. Catch me if you can. Opponent's done very, very little so far. There's Ursula. New card. Man, that's such a powerful effect. Okay, so we're doing Steel Amber songs. They're doing Steel or Amber Emerald songs. I probably didn't say that right, but who cares? Huh. All right. Well, we'll start here. Find another Stitch. Yeah. I mean, all right. Now I think we just have to do this for its actual ink cost, because I don't want them being able to sing songs. The songs are only for me. I don't think I need 2 Stitches. I'm not even sure I want to shift Robin Hood onto this guy, because if they are playing a bunch of discard spells, or discard, I don't know, songs, having 2 pieces of cardboard on the board instead of 1 is pretty nice. Okay, 2/4 ward. When you play a song, you can bounce a character with... Okay, that's annoying. All right, well, they've had it. Yeah, it does suck a little bit. Like, Pixelborn right now, the season is over, so you can only play in this lab setting where there's nothing at stake, so people are pretty fast to scoop. But it's true that this game was not going their way. All right, next one. All right, Emerald Amethyst. So maybe some evasive action. If true, then the grab your sword will be pretty good. Cinderella... Oh, man, I mean, this hand's pretty good. I think I'm actually going to send back Phil in the expectation that I will draw one at some point. You know what? I actually think I'm going to throw away the grab your sword, because this hand is so lean that whole new world might just get cast before we have a chance to grab your sword. But we're going to have a chance anyway. That is 1 too many Cinderellas for my liking. The Queen's Castle. And Rafiki. O2 Challenger 3. We can just play Simba here, right? And everything will be fine. Like, we can sing Be Our Guest with... yeah, with Cinderella here, play Simba, and things should be all right. Really hard to turn down an Ariel when we have Whole New World in hand. I think it's got to be this one. So obviously Rafiki can kill Simba here, but it's a trade. And in the meantime, we're getting value off of our singer. Mm-hmm. Oh, so they had a choice about which of our cards to discard, and they chose Grab Your Sword. So that probably means they have another discard. Yeah, probably means they have another way to discard this. So I think we're supposed to ink Robin Hood here and play out Ariel. That's pretty good. The only question is, do I want to sing it right now or not? I think I do. Lantern's good. So like next turn, we're hoping to cast whole new world with Ariel. So which of these do we want? If they discard whole new world, then I'm gonna really want to have this effect to dig deeper in my deck. So I think we'll take this Cinderella. Now we can say go. It's like reasonably likely that this is gone this turn. No. Okay. We lose Cinderella, but okay. We're going to get to whole new world for value. So I guess let's turn Robin Hood into ink. Start with Cinderella. See what we draw. Oh no, not Phil. Sorry, Phil. It's got to be you. But this is a 5-for-1. I can't turn this down. We even get to play Lilo after. We like that. Yeah, losing Ariel does burn a little bit there, but we have kind of done our thing. That is an annoying card for us if it lands. Other characters can't sing. That's also very powerful. I feel like I'm going to need this to deal with an Ursula later. I think it's one of these stitches, honestly. And am I into trying to kill this? I think the answer is no. I think we just kind of want to go. And does that mean I'm putting Rapunzel into play? I think it does. Sure, we have no damage to remove, of course, but whatever. Quest out. I will be sad if they end up getting our board under control and we had the option to kill this and we didn't, but we still have that one next turn. Okay, Genie, when he quests, you can shuffle him away to draw 3. Don't really care about that. And we have another Rafiki. So grab your sword with... Grab your sword. It would cost all 5 ink. We don't have a singer yet. Okay, here's what I think we do. I think we're going to sing Along Came Zeus with Rapunzel. I think I'm fine trading these two now. And activate Lantern, and I really think I want this Stitch in play. And now we can kill Genie if we want. We know Whole New World's coming. It means we have to give up our Cinderella to this Rafiki. Am I into that? Otherwise, next turn we have Grab Your Sword. I think so. I don't want them getting the card advantage. And I will keep Lilo home. And they've had it, yeah. I mean, it's a pretty overwhelming board. We've run into a lot of opponents who just have not been able to match the power level of this deck. And I guess it kind of makes sense because the deck was already really good and we added some powerful new tools to it. But it's nice to see that we didn't screw it up. Let's play one more. Okay. Emerald Ruby here. This is 2 decks trying to do their thing, most likely. If this is the artifact deck. Or whatever they're called, items. Can throw away Stitch. I don't think I need 2 of these. I actually think I'm going to throw away this Robin Hood and 1 of the aerials. And honestly, against what I think their deck is, we can also pitch the Grab Your Sword. Yeah, I think it's just these 2. Cool-ish. Cool-ish. Because we do have now Lilo into Simba. But we're going to need to draw some Inkables. None of the Inkables in my hand are currently ones that I want to turn into ink. Yeah, this is the Tamatoa deck, so we just kind of gotta go fast. Because the set's not released yet, we have the client is just downloading French items. This is activate and make a character lose 1 power this turn. All right, so we drew Phil, and I mean, there's simply no way we don't ink him here. I'm sorry, but like, these cards are way too important given the current texture of our hand. Like, I really want this Be Our Guest to actually do something. I really want Ariel to come into play. I'd love to find another Cinderella or Whole New World to find a way to get rid of this Grab Your Sword, because I don't think that's going to be very good this game. You're killing me. You're absolutely killing me. Okay, you know what? No. We're going to play Phil if it kills us, and it might. Yeah, we'll take that. We'll find a Whole New World at some point. The funny thing is, right now, if we don't draw an Inkable, we can't even play him next turn. So I saw a Cogsworth deck during my testing as well, and I was not super impressed with it. Okay. So this is an evasive 1/1, and when you play it, you get to banish something with 1 power or less. Yeah. We're just going to turn Robin Hood into ink, I suppose. Because, like I said, we're frickin' playing Phil. We have a bodyguard, so I don't fear too much. But it would definitely be nice to find something that draws a card. Like the Be Our Guest that I threw away earlier for content. I wonder why some of these cards are French and some of them aren't. Like, I wonder if maybe it's whatever language the preview card was spoiled in. Like, maybe this one was given to a French creator. I do love that they gave us the no-nonsense instructor for the Lorcana Academy. I thought that was very nice of them. What are we doing over there, opponent? Wow. You go after Simba instead? The disrespect. Phil has not been getting his due this game. Gross. All right, I really don't want to turn this guy into ink, so I think Phil is going to actually sing and get rid of this evasive creature. That's more like it, I think. Gains lore because Robin Hood's a hero. And all of a sudden, we're threatening to quest for 4, so we can end the game in 3 turns, but realistically, probably 2. They found a popsicle. So, do I care about this thing? Not really, right? Yeah, honestly, like, I don't think I sing this. I think we just play Ariel and quest. I guess we could draw something off Ariel that we would want to play. Yeah, sure, that works. Do I want to sing this one? Actually, I think I do. Yeah, because we can find these 1-drops that we could play and gain more lore off Phil. think I want Lilo. Okay. We can pass, and we are indeed threatening to go out next turn. And there's nothing on board that prevents it. It's like they can't kill us with what we know they have. Okay. That'll slow us down a little bit. Again, not killing Phil. I guess you kind of have to kill Robin Hood if you're going to turn this one sideways, but damn. Yeah, okay. Cool. Yeah, deck did extremely well. Obviously, like, don't take these results too seriously because we're only playing on the lab mode of Pixelborn. People haven't had a chance to play much with the new cards. The meta hasn't settled, and people aren't taking it super seriously, right? You've seen people scoop to us pretty early. But overall, the deck seems really powerful. When you get Phil in play, the one ink creatures are really effective at getting your lore way up. It did kind of feel like maybe this wasn't the best fit for him, just because we so often were about to win the game even before we played him. It kind of felt a little win more. But I don't know. I think I want to play with this a little more and see. Anyway, that is it for this one. As always, hit like if you really liked it. Hit subscribe if you really liked it. Leave a comment below if there's another card or deck that you want to see me take on in the Pixelborn arena. And I will see you all next time.